Hey, welcome to Casual Yelling, a casual conversation podcast with 85% less yelling. I'm Matt Elfring, and if you heard the Chris Hayner breakfast lasagna episode, thank you for subscribing on Patreon, but that was only 11 minutes long. Chris and I were talking for an hour, and at one point we just decided it was an episode of Casual Yelling. This is back from a couple months ago we recorded this. So you get to hear the rest of the full episode, which I'm starting it right after the episode of Breakfast Lasagna. So it's about the 11-minute mark. So enjoy.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. Hello.
Let's talk sexy. Here, let's see. Marbles. That one.
Loved it.
I really liked it.
It's great.
I saw that in theaters. That like I was not around for the press screening. I was traveling, but on release day, I was like, you know what? I want to go see a Marvel movie on day one. Oh, I didn't really. Can I put in my information?
I think so.
Matt, I don't know if you know this. I've gotten really big into the Grand Theft Auto role-playing life.
I know because we've been texting about it.
It's my favorite thing. Pastor Johnny preaches the good word of Kiflam, which is a cult in the world of Grand Theft Auto. So I just walk around talking to teenagers about their personal Lord and Savior Kiflam. I'm very cool in this world. And also I plan on hopefully doing a lot of WWE 2K24 stuff, because
I would hope so too, but let's find out.
I mean, I'm going to have the game, so I'm going to be doing 2K24 stuff. I just don't know what. And hopefully Matt will be involved. Matt, we could actually stream. We could both stream together at this point. I love what you're doing on Patreon, and I'm excited, fingers crossed, for it to keep on growing. Because it's cool. Also, the fact that you made I'm looking at your cover art now in the window we're in. You texted me while you were making this on vacation in Hawaii. And I think it was because I texted like, dude, I kind of love your cover art. You're like, oh, I just made that on my phone.
I made it on my phone in Hawaii.
Matt, I paid $100 to some teenager in Europe somewhere to make me great. A podcast logo.
Yours
it does.
Great.
But yours looks great and you made it on your phone. Like, I feel like a dope. I really do.
It's a real... I mean, in the whole StreamYard thing too, I made it in like 5 minutes. I'm like, I have to be on video, but there needs to be branding.
It works. Big Kids Chris Hayner is here, and it's now with 80. Here's Matt. I'll tell you your one problem with this.
Yeah.
Next to the title "Casual Yelling" in the art, you need an asterisk, because down at the bottom there's an asterisk.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's supposed to be connected to.
Well, the plan was I'm going to have banners when there is yelling on the show, and the numbers will go down. I'm not there yet.
I would love it if you had like a blinking graphic in the corner that says now entering the yell zone or something like that.
Hold on. I'm just going to do it because it'll be funny.
Oh, absolutely. Y'all, if you're not using StreamYard, I use it for my podcasting and streaming. Matt's using it for his stuff. It's so easy to use and so much fun and so goofy. Now entering the yell zone. You know, Matt, you could also set that as a thing that's scrolling along the bottom of the screen.
I don't know. I'm not very good at this yet. I might just remove the now with 85% yelling and just keep changing that as the show goes on.
Honestly, I'll be completely honest with you. That was my goal with Big Kid. I wanted to constantly pop things in on the bottom screen, whether it's links or just dumb little quotes or anything. And I dropped the ball because I get very distracted when I'm talking to people. I need a producer is the problem.
That's what I do for Gifted Kid Messy Adult, a neurodiversity podcast where I am the producer of, and it's doing well.
I can't afford to pay you.
My rates they're lower compared to other producers, but they are high.
Yeah, I don't make money on my podcast, so hiring you would actually make it. It's already a money-losing venture because I have to pay. Even Apple charges. Apple's like, you have to pay us this much money every year just to be in the store.
Wait, really? Because I did it for free.
maybe I'm thinking of something else.
I have Spotify for free, Audible
I
for
have
free,
Spotify for free.
iHeartRadio for
Yeah.
free.
I thought there was like an Apple Connect thing. I don't know. Look, it doesn't matter. I don't have money to spend on my podcast,
Mm-hmm.
or honestly, right now, time. I will hopefully have time soon. I have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Like
Anyway,
what?
oh man, Matt, I went to, well, I already talked about going to Brazil. So that
Mm-hmm.
if you want to know, and Matt, you were on that episode. I walked
Yes.
you through my McDonald's Brazil experience. That was a lot of fun. But no, I still have Paddington episode, Taylor Swift episode. I have so many things to do. Plus there's new video games coming out. I have more
Mm-hmm.
wrestling deal. I'm going to WrestleMania. I took Nikki
Again.
to the Royal Rumble. Like, I got a lot of stuff to do.
I mean,
just need
Chris
to have
does have a lot to talk about, as you can see.
yeah, it says it down here on the over here. Chris has a
Yeah.
lot to talk about.
And now
Matt,
we're
by the way, I since you moved your frame, like, and again,
Mhm.
this is more inside baseball stuff. You may or may not include, since you moved your frame to angle away from the window. I love your setup.
Look at this too. I don't know if you can see very. It's too hard.
I cannot see.
I
can see that
have
far.
a blue light on this side that I can change the colors on. So like I have actual lighting to make things look less red on my face. There'll be a blackout curtain here eventually.
Yeah, I too have actual lighting, but my office window over here faces the sun, so it's always bright and hot in here, even though I am wearing a cardigan today because I am a cold boy in Florida.
At this point, this has just turned into a regular episode of Casual Yelling.
I mean, yeah, look, man, I'm on my lunch break. We can do whatever we want. You can also just cut me off and keep your short episode intact if you'd prefer.
I don't know, because I feel like it's going to be a sideshow as a whole. I've already got one banked, but it's audio only. We've got this one now right here, which is going to be a full episode. And then I've got other banked ones coming up, or will be coming up. So this is now just a full episode of Casual Yelling. I almost said I just want to talk to friends.
Cool. What are we talking about, Matt?
I don't know. We work together again.
We do. For those who don't know, I have brought Matt back on as a freelancer at GameSpot because I like. Yes, Chris still has a lot to talk about. I once I found out I could bring Matt back, I was like, oh, I want that voice back on site because I like that voice, and Matt is good at what he does, and thankfully he's being good at what he does again.
Yeah,
I mean, you're good at a lot. You're good at a lot of things, but like. Yeah. Specifically, you're very good at writing things that I enjoy. So, yeah.
Well, it's more so of, I think this is something you and I talked about. I'm not going to mention names or anything, but I was writing lists for another site and my voice didn't mesh well with their style. So a lot of my voice was kind of stripped out, and that's fine. That's fine. That's how they run things. But I've had a lot more fun coming back, and also occasionally on Patreon, and when Substack wasn't awful. I've had a lot more
fun. By the way, go to haynerland.substack.com to read my personal writing. Again, that is haynerland.substack.com. Go ahead.
Please go there. Please go. You do some great writing on there. But anyways, like, it was nice to come back to GameSpot because I don't have animosity towards anybody there. It was fandom that let me go.
Except me.
No one there. So it's nice to come back and have my full voice. When you mentioned Substack, like, I made the big stink about leaving and then had to start everything over. And I was texting you the entire time and I was throwing a fit because I couldn't get things working.
And as you're texting me about this, I'm texting back and like, yeah, I was going to do this too. I might wait a while. This seems like a lot of work. I don't think I could be a part of this. We're now entering the yell zone, everybody. Look, I subscribe to a lot of Patreons, and spoiler alert for anybody who cares about my nonsense, I have started setting up a Patreon account for Haynerland that I don't know that I will actually use it, but I want it there in case I'm ready to flip the switch. I'm looking for a better, more Substack-like alternative because, man, text posts on Patreon look like garbage.
Text posting is bad on Patreon. But I mean, it's
It's
made.
great for video. It's great for
Mhm.
pod. It's great for images and that like bonus content. But like like the whole basically, Matt. I don't know if we've talked about this. My long
No.
term goal is for Hayner Land to be basically the hub of everything I do for
Mhm.
me, and that includes writing. So I like God. If only Patreon would. I'm genuinely surprised Patreon hasn't created and implemented a better text editor.
Yeah, you can only put one image in if you're
Yeah,
doing.
that's
That's
not true.
bad.
I've put in so many images into my McDonald's post.
Wait, did I do that too? I'm not gonna check now
I
because I'm not
literally, but
gonna
I'll tell you
follow
how
you.
I did it. I just went into the Substack post and copied it and then pasted it into
Oh, did that work?
yeah, it's very stupid.
It's not. It's not user friendly for journalists or writers, which
No.
is weird because when the Substack thing happened, not everyone left. A lot of people left, including a lot of big names. And you
Yeah.
think Patreon at that point would have been like, let's make writing better.
You'd think.
I'm
You'd
then
think.
nothing against Patreon. I can upload these videos very easily. You
That
know.
said, Patreon is also a gigantic corporation and probably
Mhm.
takes a long time to get their ducks in a row on new
Yeah.
features. So, like, it might be in the works and we won't see it for 2 years. I hope that's not the case. I would feel much better about making the jump to Patreon if it had a better text editor. As it stands, I'm looking, I think I mentioned it to you, the Ghost newsletter service
Yeah.
platform.
I thought about
Um,
that one, but
and there's a couple others I've been looking at, but like I need something that is actually going to do everything I need it to do.
mhm.
And so far that doesn't exist, unfortunately.
No, the alternative of trying to find something that's Substack like, but also fits in, but is like Substack, but also fits in with the ethics and morality that I personally have about using a service is kind of hard to find right now. So
Again,
Patreon's just the place.
haynerland.substack.com. It's where you can find all my very personal writing about Las Vegas and painting my nails.
Mhm.
Um haynerland.substack.com. Matt, can you change this bottom to be like Chris loves Substack? Don't do that was a joke. That was absolutely a joke. I don't love Substack. I think the company's stance on not deleting Nazi blogs is redonkulous. Like it's stupid. It's just stupid. Um it was a joke. Uh,
I'm
but
definitely
yeah,
removing that bottom thing that says 85% yelling and just making it the
this is
banners look very nice.
this is way better.
In fact, I'm gonna talk to you after this about doing top banners too, because if I can get things to look pretty
I don't
everywhere,
know. I have no idea how top banners work. I made mine in Photoshop or
that's what
Paint
I
or
did. Oh,
whatever.
not
Oh
Photoshop.
no,
It's me.
I was in Photoshop. I used
GIMP or Canva.
Canva.
Yeah.
That's what I use because I started using Canva to make YouTube thumbnails for the pod
Mhm.
because like they've got basically YouTube thumbnail templates that you could do. And so if you go over to the Big Kid Pod on YouTube, you will see lots of what I think are fantastic thumbnails.
I would
Truly.
highly recommend GIMP. It is a Photoshop clone, essentially. It's not as good as
Oh yeah.
Photoshop, but you can
Graphic
download
image
it.
manipulation program or something like that.
Yes, but you can download it to your computer. That's what I like because
Yeah.
Canva is limited, very limited for what you can do for free.
Yeah, Canva's limited unless you want to buy Canva Pro or whatever. And like there's a basic Photoshop Express that you could use to do the same thing, but it's also limited unless you want to go pro or whatever.
Mhm.
So like it all honestly, it all depends on what it is you're trying to make and how much time and resource you want to dedicate to it. Because like if you're just starting out, just use the free programs and make them yourself. Like it's so
Yeah.
easy to upload assets and drag them around.
And as someone who paid for Photoshop for years, I have physical CDs back there of old Photoshop I purchased. And now that Photoshop's a monthly paid service, so was
Subscription.
subscription service, so was Audition, but I use Audition a lot. But Photoshop I don't use every day. Like I can't justify paying the ridiculous monthly fee. Audition,
No.
again, I love Audition. I've been using it since it was Cool Edit Pro, but I use
Same.
Photoshop.
I use Cool Edit Pro. Do you remember Sony Vegas?
Yeah, Sony Vegas was my secondary.
Same. Cool Edit Pro was when I was in college taking radio classes. Cool. We used Cool Edit Pro. Wait, was Cool Edit Pro the single or multi-track?
That was multi-track.
Okay, we used a single track editor first, and then Cool Edit Pro, and then Vegas.
Vegas for audio originally, I believe, was single track, and then they update Sony Vegas,
Yeah.
and then you got multiple.
Because because Sony Vegas bought something else and integrated it.
Yes, I believe they bought. I thought it started with an F. I can't remember, but then Adobe bought Cool Edit Pro. And
Yeah,
it became Audition.
Yeah,
which was just Cool Edit Pro, but the most expensive.
yeah, but cool.
Cool Edit Pro, I think, was like $20, and then when Adobe bought it, it jumped up to $500.
Question for you about StreamYard. Have you used the StreamYard video editor yet?
They have I'm so new into this. This is the second StreamYard recording for me. It's like the fifth, because I do producing for the art show, so I've done it a few times.
Yeah. But have you used the in-site video editor?
No, because I'm using Premiere Rush, which came free with Adobe Audition, and Premiere Rush is audio and video editing. Like very, very easy. It's
like basic. Is it like basic Premiere?
It's basically just clipping and adding audio or video tracks, which is fine because that's all I personally need. I'm not there doing like hard video editing.
See, I have Premiere. I ended up getting a Premiere subscription because I'm editing the show as a video show and then exporting the audio separately and the video separately, just for a two birds, one stone situation. And I genuinely curious about Premiere Rush and how it might save me money.
Yeah, I mean, if you subscribe to one of the other programs, you get Premiere Rush for free. So because I have Audition, I get Premiere Rush for free. Oh, and I've got Audition for like a year. I pay yearly for that.
All right, I'll have to look into my.
But I love Audition. I hate Audacity. I just don't understand.
Audacity. I think Audacity looks bad.
Not so much the look. I just don't have I don't have buttons memorized on it or like controls memorized. And because I've been working with Audition since it was Cool Edit Pro, I have everything memorized for how things work.
Well, and there's a reason these programs get their hooks into us is because I'm used to the control commands of Premiere. So when I needed Premiere for a thing, I just got Premiere because I know how to use this.
Exactly.
That's easy.
That's how they get you.
But now that I'm in StreamYard, we're now entering the yell. Now that I'm in StreamYard, I really want to try StreamYard's built-in editor because I'm very curious how it'll play.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be like Rush. I'm just assuming it's going to be clipping. Maybe editing it in multi-track audio, but it's probably going to be clipping multi-track audio, maybe multi-video tracks as well, where you can just
because you can I believe you can upload assets and whatnot. Like if you were to watch, for instance, the Big Kid Pod on YouTube, youtube.com/@BigKidPod. I'm such a whore. I have a little intro that I just have a template saved for episodes in Premiere, and I'm able to drop in the video every time and just sort of tighten it up and then cut out what needs to be cut out. And it's just ready to go. So it's gotten down to be a much quicker process, but I kind of want to see if I can do that with StreamYard because that would be kind of tight. That's all.
Who knows?
I don't know. What else you want to talk about, Matt?
I don't know. This was kind of I think that's a good ending point. I mean, we essentially did a full episode unknowingly.
It's true. It was not an exciting episode, though. We just talked about the friggin' inner workings of making a podcast on the internet, which is like the whitest guy topic ever.
You know what's weird? So I'm on the threads. I'm on the threads, And there's a whole bunch of like,
Follow me on Threads at Chris Hayner. You will see me not post anything.
I'm at Elfring on Threads. What there's communities within Threads which I really enjoy, but there's a lot of like LinkedIn type posts where it's like, "Hey, podcast community," like it feel like it's this weird like disingenuity that I hate about LinkedIn, where people are trying to connect with other people within the same interests, which is great. But it's like, "Hey, podcast community, like follow my podcast and I'll follow yours, and like we'll listen to each other's." But no, I mean, yeah, you're following each other, but no one's listening to each other's podcasts. And also, there are 8 billion podcasts with person talking to person in casual conversation. And I'm fine with that idea that this show is just all of that.
Yeah.
But what makes me kind of like smile slash laugh is like everyone thinks their show is better. Their casual conversation podcast is better than anybody else's. I know mine isn't. I
I
know
also
it.
know, I will say this. Mine also isn't. Mine is not
Yours has
the
a theme.
best conversation podcast. It does have a theme,
Mhm.
and it varies from week to week how closely we stay on the theme. Season 1 stayed very on theme, and season 2 we've been really it's like jazz, man. We're just kind of seeing where it goes.
Yep.
But I'm you mentioned LinkedIn, and I thought of something that would be a fun story. You and I have had many discussions about whether or not LinkedIn is of any use at all.
Yeah.
Um, it's probably not. It's probably not,
I've got a
right?
lot of resentment and anger towards it, but
I had
yeah.
I had never been reached out to on LinkedIn by a recruiter until literally last week. I should
Yeah.
note, I'm not looking to leave my job. I like my job, but a recruiter that works in I'll say this, works in a division of a company that I greatly admire and would have been, and probably still might be, at least as a little kid, the dream job.
Yeah.
Which was really weird to be like, "Hey, I'm so and so. I work at this place you dreamed about as a child. Can we talk?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. Why not?" Matt, you know what's fun? And again, this is no slight against anyone, including the recruiter I spoke with. I think they were looking for not another Chris Hayner, but I think they read my work experience and thought it was something else. Because we got into the thing and I was like, this is going to be weird and fun. I've never done this before. This is exciting. I even brought up the fact, I was like, I'll be honest with you, me and a friend constantly talk about how we don't think anything comes from LinkedIn. But this came from LinkedIn, and that's kind of nuts. So this is fun. And then she proceeded to explain to me what she was looking for. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, she thinks I do something else entirely.
She didn't read my
I
bio.
I'm gonna keep going. And like ultimately like she was very nice and said like, oh, we'll keep your name in the mix and blah blah blah. But like I 100% do not expect something to come with it, but at the very least I got to talk to someone who works in a field I admire, and it was a really hilarious outcome that I think she thought I wrote television.
Oh.
I was like, no, I write about television. That's a big difference.
See, my issue was just being ghosted by recruiters left and right, including a friend. I'll tell you the name after
You
we
got
stop recording.
ghosted like recruiters would be like, hey, let's chat, and then never talk to you again.
I'd have hour-long chats with recruiters on the phone, and they'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
and they would tell me it's going to be so easy to place you somewhere because of your experience within entertainment journalism, your experience with being on the mic and producing podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
and hour-long conversations. I wouldn't hear back from them for a couple weeks. I'd email them to follow up, and they'd never respond. And again, one of these people I consider a real life friend who I would follow up with every 2 weeks, and then he just stopped replying.
Have you talked to him since?
Last time I talked to him was about 2 months ago.
Was it about friend stuff or about the job?
A little bit of both.
Okay. And he never replied?
No, it started as friends stuff and then went to job stuff. But what I was being offered was an insane job. Like, it would have been amazing for me.
Oh,
So that's why I
but
was like
then you
super
wouldn't get to
excited.
work with me.
No, and I love working with you. I mean, that's been very obvious.
Look,
I'm splitting
one
this into 2
day,
episodes at this point now.
that's fine. One day,
Yeah.
fandom or GameSpot is going to be like, Chris, what is your fondest dream at this job? And I'd be like, hire Matt back. let us make let us make Wrestle Buddies again.
Because right now you're getting like 2 features from me a week because I just don't have time for that, to
Yeah.
do because I'm working like 3 jobs right now.
Also, also, Matt, I don't know if you've noticed this since you've been back working with me.
Mm.
I'm a lot busier now than I was a year ago. I feel like I'm constantly missing Slack messages from you because I'm in a meeting
Mhm.
or in 17 other Slack conversations because there's so much happening all the time. And I'm tired, bro.
Because 40% of your workload is probably stuff I would have done.
40% of my workload is like honestly lots of editing, lots of meetings, lots of planning.
Yeah, because I'm not there to edit.
I still get to write.
Mhm.
Um
But you're writing some, like,
I
kick-ass stuff at this point. I've been seeing what
I
you've been doing. It's good,
yeah,
really good stuff.
yeah, I haven't gotten to do as much of it as I'm used to or as I'd like to, just
Yeah.
because that like once you like like it was happening when you were still there. Like a senior editor has way a lot of stuff going on, so
Yeah.
pounding out 3 or 4 pieces of a day kind of falls by the wayside,
Yeah.
which sucks because you know how much I love making goofy galleries.
But that's why I'm back, to do
I
goofy
know
galleries.
that's it. Like our galleries fell off last year because I wasn't doing them, Mason wasn't doing them, and you weren't doing them.
Yeah.
So I was able to. Obviously, I was like, I have an excellent team of freelancers that I love to death,
Yeah.
and they have been so helpful over the last year. Even some of them like who were primarily news freelancers stepping up into feature and gallery assignments. This is real inside baseball
This is
nonsense. I
so
don't know.
inside
I don't know
baseball.
how we got here. Basically, LinkedIn is weird, but I kind of like it. I like when I see friends posting things on LinkedIn that I haven't seen on other forms of social media.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, for the past few months, that usually means they've been fired because journalism is a fire. It's a tire fire that's going to consume us all.
90% of my day is checking in on friends who have been laid off recently, and that's
Yeah,
horrifying. It's not
it's
horrifying, I wanna be there to support them, even though I'm still in the same
it's
situation.
it's it's horrifying that like this is the state we're in. I think I talked to you about this November or December of last year, or maybe it wasn't last month. It was at some point recently. I went to a local high school for the Great American Teach-In
Yes.
and actually spent the day speaking to journalism classes. And basically the teacher was like, just talk to them about what you do, like what they're going to need for the industry, blah, blah, blah. I spent, yes, he does. I spent the entire day telling them, like, you don't need a corporation's permission to be a journalist.
Mhm.
The era of having to write for established organizations, having to write for papers and outlets and blah, 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 that's all over because of what social media has become.
Yeah.
Like some of the most informed journalists I follow are people on TikTok. They're literally just TikTokers. And there is one guy whose name I can't remember. I hate that I can't remember it, but like he does these incredible like citizen justice videos where
Yeah.
he finds like if say there's been a hit and run or say someone has attacked somebody and hasn't been identified. He uses his platform to find the person and identify them. He does the research to try to figure out who they are. And basically he's like, here's everything you need to know. That is a completed news story. And in the world of sort of commercial journalism as opposed to independent or what I could be wrong, I've been referring to as citizen journalism, people just
Yeah.
making their own stuff. You there Yes, there is good work going on. As we can tell, though, by the messenger shuttering last week, I think, there is all the reports coming out of that is that they were promised the the real journalism dream and were instead made to make SEO clickbait.
Yeah.
Like feed the search engine. When I first got into journalism, I worked for a website called Zap to It, and I was basically a pop culture writer
Yeah.
where most people covered TV. I covered everything else, celebrity, movie, etc. And for the first year of the job, Matt, my job was to look, this is not a joke, everything I wrote was based on Yahoo Trends list.
Yep.
Yahoo wasn't important in 2013, which is when I got my first like official writing job that
Yeah.
wasn't just me writing for me. And my job was to stare at the Yahoo Trends list all day and look for things to write up. I got on the front page of Reddit one time. It was pretty cool. I got like 5 million page views in a day off of one story, which was pretty tight.
I would
Like,
recommend so everything you're talking about, I'd recommend
yeah.
a YouTube channel called Some More News. Some More News. It's Cody Johnson, who used to be a Cracked writer, I believe. He does videos about kind of what's going wrong in the world. He recently put out one about journalism and why journalism online is dying. And he's talked about TikTok. He's talked about venture capitalist companies buying up websites and selling them after stripping them down. It's everything you and
What's
I
that
have
like,
experienced.
Matt? We've never been through that, Red Ventures.
Yeah, Red Ventures did that to all the sites they bought, and CNET is mentioned a lot.
As it should.
Yeah,
They like Red Venture. Look, I'm glad Red Ventures kept me employed while I was there. But
not a lot
like
of our friends.
seeing what that company did to a leading brand like CNET
Yeah,
and how they're having to take a huge bath on what they paid for it now, like that's them's the breaks, kids. When
all of our
you
CNET buddies. Yeah,
yeah, when you de-escalate journalism and human writers for AI and commerce guides, look, which is, I'll also say this, I think there's 100% room for so much commerce in online
same here.
journalism. I
I think
love gift guides. I also love game guides. I am, I think, hilariously known as the GameSpot staffer that is not a gamer. I play Fortnite, I play Minecraft, and I play wrestling games. And now I play Grand Theft Auto RP. That's it. That's the extent of my video gaming. So I'm not a video game guy. But every time I want to play a new video game, what's the first thing I do, Matt? I search out like, I'm a beginner. Give me a guide on how to not suck at this game. And thank God for gaming industry websites having plenty of that type of content.
I use gaming guides when there is something I don't understand about a mechanic in a game that's new. Uh, I use gift guides every year. Uh,
Oh
I
yeah.
am I am extremely pro game guides because that's Nintendo power for us. I am
Yeah.
extremely pro gift guides, and believe it or not, I am extremely pro affiliate links to help make gaming websites money because advertising doesn't make as much money anymore.
Bro, I'm pro affiliate links to make any websites money. Like,
Yeah,
look, it's hard to explain because we're still, I feel like, coming out of a world where banner ads were the devil. Everyone has to install an ad blocker on their site. And
yeah,
that, it like, yes, Facebook's faux pivot to video and the number inflation that sort of crashed the video side of the industry played a huge hand in where we're at
yeah.
now. The war against truth, or whatever you want to call it, played a huge hand in where we're at now. Ad blockers have played a massive role in crushing this industry because journalistic outlets are kept alive on ad dollars.
Yeah.
GameSpot is a perfect example. GameSpot doesn't have a paid subscription service. The only way we make money is through commerce weeks and sold ads.
Yep. There's
So
advertising on the site though, isn't there?
on
Oh, I
GameSpot?
can't remember. Yeah. We have
Oh
body
yeah.
banners. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have banner ads, we have sidebar ads, we have all that stuff. That's how the site makes money. That's
Yeah.
how I get paid for doing my job. That's how
Yeah.
you get paid your freelance rates for doing your job. Like I feel like in the aughts and into the 2010s, and I was a part of the problem. Like there was we all wanted to block banner ads, and guess what?
Yep.
When you block banner ads, the writers whose writing you're reading don't get paid for their work because that's where the money comes from.
But there is a fine line between banner ads and there are websites I read all the time that 90% of the page, and this is mostly wrestling websites I read, 90% of the stuff you're reading on your phone, it's just banner ads. It's like a top ad banner ad, bottom, and
Wrestling
side.
websites are mobile, especially on wrestling news websites, is
It's
one of the worst abominations ever. Honestly, that's what led me to signing up for Fightful Select on Patreon,
really
because it's just in the Patreon app and it's very clean cut.
okay.
Like I
All
don't
right.
have to go into a browser. I just have to tap the Patreon app and I can look at the updates for like, because I have like 7 or 8 Patreon. There's you. I am currently on your free tier though. I should probably join a paid tier.
There's nothing on I'm working on the paid tiers now because I have paid people. It's the same thing that happened on Substack. Everything was free, and then I got like a weird influx of paid people, and I was like, "Oh shit, I have to do something."
Yeah.
The saddest thing was sending out that email after I left Substack of like, "Do you all want refunds?" I'm sending
Did
this out to
anybody
like
take
20
a
people.
did anybody take a refund?
No one did. But those same
Mm-hmm.
people didn't sign up for a paid Patreon. I'm like, I understand. Like, y'all took a
Yeah.
bath for paying for a year.
Yeah.
And like, I'm so sorry. Like, every single person I reached out to individually, I'm like, I am so sorry. I will pay you back every penny. I know you've been a subscriber for 5 months. I'll pay you back the full amount. No one took me up on it. And I'm like, that means a weird amount to me
Yeah,
because
dude.
it's really cool. But again, none of them have. I know one person subscribed that came over, but rebuilding the Patreon's been tough because I'm not writing as much because I'm getting paid to write at other places.
I'm sorry for killing your Patreon, Matt.
This is Patreon though.
I
This is part of
am
Patreon, the
Oh,
video
hey,
version.
I'm bringing it back to life.
It's just going to be on YouTube like a week or two after the audio version comes out.
I'm
That's
trying
it.
to think of a cool exclusive I can give your Patreon audience.
It's only the video though.
No, I know, but like I have like a lot of cool toys behind me. I'm like, I
Mhm.
wonder if I could. I wonder.
You got
Oh,
a
Matt.
Danhausen back there. Two
Oh,
Danhausens.
I've got a couple of Danhausens. I've got some good wrestling action figures. But Matt, I'm going to show you a prop from a beloved television show I actually have.
Please do.
In fact, I'll show you two props from 2 television shows I have.
Video exclusive. Sign up for
Video
Patreon.
exclusive. That's right. Sign up for Patreon to check this out.
Here we
I'll
go.
show you this one.
Oh, Chris has nice Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pajama pants on. I like that.
I sure do. I am 100% working in my PJ pants today.
I have real pants on. Can you see?
Can you hear me? Can you
Yeah.
hear me? These were
I
a
can hear
gift
you.
from holiday gift from Nikki.
Oh,
And
thank you,
they're
Nikki.
so comfortable. So first, do you remember the television series Bones?
Yes.
Starring Emily Deschanel and Angel and some other people?
Yes, I do.
After that show ended, I got something in the mail.
Uh-huh.
This is a bone from Bones. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It's literally a fake bone. This commemorative bone is from the Jeffersonian set.
That's pretty cool.
It's weird.
It's weird though, but it's pretty cool.
This isn't the cool thing. I showed you the less cool thing first.
Yeah.
Matt, you know the TV show Supernatural?
I am aware of it. Yeah.
It was on for 15 years.
Yes.
There were 3 stars of that show. Jensen Ackles, Jared Padalecki, and Baby, the car. Everyone loves the car. Do you know the car I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's like an old 80s muscular car.
More 70s. More 70s.
70s, sorry, 70s.
Baby. I will give you the exact specs on this car, okay? It is actually a 1967 Chevy Impala.
Oh, Impala.
Black, beauty, wonderful.
I was only 20 years off talking about the car.
It's true. So when that series ended, I received something in the mail that made me genuinely emotional. Now, for the record, I covered this series. I went to the set of this series multiple times. I love this show. And then what I got in the mail was Baby's headlight from the actual picture, used picture car. It came in this wonderful plastic case, It says Supernatural 2005 to 2020 authentic parts taken from Baby, the 1967 Chevy Impala used filming the production on the CW network. And like,
Wow.
it's a real car headlight. If you look at the back, it's like, it's old. It's clearly been used a lot. But yeah, that's my piece of Baby. And I also got in the mail a secondary Supernatural thing, which is in a closet. That was a piece of the set. It's like this big placard. This will be an exclusive for the next time I'm on the show.
Oh, Chris, I'll show you an exclusive. Hold on, it's right.
Oh yeah,
here.
yeah. What do you got?
Right.
What do you got?
I don't know if I've ever. Oh no, this might be able to not come out. Hold on, I've got to move painting things. Oh, I've got to make noise too. All going on. Oh, there's too much crap under here.
Are we gonna? Should I prep another show and tell because I have more?
I've got it. I've got it. Here we go. As you remember, for years when I was at GameSpot, I worked a lot with Whiz Kids and Wizards of the Coast.
Yes, you did. And now I get lots of D&D books in the mail.
And one year, they sent me this.
What is that?
Chris, I'm going to turn it around. It has my name on it.
Yes, it does. Is this like your DM like folder thing?
It is a when you're DM, it's the board.
It's the board that you prop up in front of you.
Yes.
Wow. And it's got your name on it?
Yeah, it's huge. And inside there's magnets if you want to customize and put things in there. It weighs like 10 pounds.
Dude, that's so cool.
One year I don't know how they did this. A previous year, they sent me one of the books that I really enjoyed. Mm-hmm. But in it, on the cover, they had inscripted one of my characters from the game I was running, and the quote he says all the time. So an NPC quote that is constantly said is, "I'm not going to take a cut from BB Barry," who was the manager of these bards. I don't know how they knew this. Like, because I emailed PR after that. I'm like, how did you know about this character, this NPC character, and the fact that like he says this line, "I'm not going to take a cut," numerous times per session. And I was a little freaked out. And then I figured I probably told it to them as a joke at one point, but it's like, you listened to me that closely that you put that on a book for me.
I wonder if you tweeted it out or something at one point.
No, I never tweeted out. Note. I keep a lot of the, I mean, now that we're talking about breakfast lasagna, or I have talked about breakfast lasagna, which came from a TRPG session. Mm-hmm. That's public, but the BB Barry stuff was never public. The Bard Quest stuff was never public. So wow. I must have sent it to them in a meeting, like when we were just kind of talking about playing D&D. They also sent me a $500 dice set. The D&D, like when you're in this industry, you work your butt to the bone. Like, and
you get a lot of weird stuff in the mail.
You do, and sometimes if you have a close relationship with those people, you get weird personalized stuff. And it's not really weird, it's just you'll never see anything like it again.
This is my laser baby from The Boys. This was never released. This was only set to some members of the press. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it.
Yeah.
But it's for The Boys season 2, and it's your very own laser baby. There's a Vought rattle in there. If you look on the back, meet your laser baby. This we taught may look innocent, but don't be fooled. Yeah, this is not, you can see there's no barcodes on it, so this is not a for sale item. So I don't know what it's for.
Like I had products for sale that were.
It's also maybe a game that goes with an app. I haven't looked at that before.
I mean, I have things right behind me that were, released to me early before the public got them, like the Githraki statue I have right here. I have the No Holds Barred Zeus and Hulk Hogan figure, which we both got before it came out.
I think they sent me 2 of those for some reason, and I haven't opened either of them.
No,
they're just.
But it's cool.
No. I got one of those, but I got 2 Muhammad Ali. No, I got 2 of those and maybe 2 Muhammad Alis for some reason. And I'm like, cool.
But again, it's all about those weird relationships we have with, as a journalist, with PR people. Like they really
Oh yeah.
want to keep you writing about the products, so they'll send you weird things.
I got
Chucky for
Chucky
president.
election pins. Like yeah. Oh, like I'm trying to think of like other stuff I had. I went to WrestleMania last year. Every year, WrestleMania, you get a hat and a sweater and
Yeah.
stuff you'll never ever use.
Like, because part of it is like, hey, we appreciate you writing about these products. You didn't have to. And I feel like sometimes, and you could definitely tell who it is by whether or not you've worked with them, they send you things in order to write about their products. And in the situations I've been with that, where they're sending me stuff to write about their products and we have no existing relationship, I never will do it. I never will.
For me, it's
Actually
always
depends on what it is.
yeah, it depends on what it is and how it, whether or not it fits with what we're doing.
Mhm.
Like, cause like we try to do, I try to get more toy coverage in.
Yeah.
Like
People are
I
interested in that. When I
don't
was
have a
writing
lot of
about Power
time, but
Rangers stuff, people were interested in that.
yeah. Um, yeah, man, I have so much stuff that was just things I got in the mail. But also I've spent a stupid amount. Actually, Matt, do you see right back here?
The guitar?
No, next to it.
Constantine?
No, Ecto 1, bro. You got me that. You gave me that.
Oh, yeah, that Ecto one that Hasbro sent me.
That's Ecto 1 next to a Watto Koosh ball and a VHS copy of Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace. I got range. What you can't see, you can kind of see it back here.
The Danhausen? Oh, Kermit the Frog?
No, back here. This is a glass cabinet filled with all of my Jar Jar Binks bullshit.
I forgot about that kick.
Of which there's plenty. Oh, the kick hasn't really ended. I've just stopped buying things in general because I'm trying to save money. But also, they have announced a new Jar Jar figure coming out that I'm going to have to get, obviously.
Now that we've discussed the weird side of journalism where people just send you free things to get you to write about their products, and so many times you will, as a journalist, ignore them because I'd rather have again, you said fit the site, number one. Number two, I'd rather have a pre-existing relationship where we discuss things over email. That's how I think many of us work, is you'd rather discuss about coverage and how things would work if they do it all on the site. Don't just send us things right away.
No.
I think that's the
Talk to me
ethical way
beforehand.
to go about things. But again, D&D sending me this after covering their stuff for years, like, that's
Matt,
nice.
do you know how many freaking weirdo Disney plushes I've gotten over the years?
I give away 90% of what's been sent to me.
When I get big boxes of toys in the mail now, like my first thought is like, I should pick one thing from here. And then my next thought is like, gonna have to mail all these to nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
Because I don't want a big box of toys taking up space in the garage.
That's exactly what it is. We're minimalists at my house. So I have the arcade set up. I bought all those.
I'm clearly not. I mean, I'm clearly not a minimalist.
Yeah.
You can also see back here is my animated cell from the Real Ghostbusters animated series.
Didn't you? But you bought that because I was with you when you bought that.
I bought that. No, you weren't. I bought this at
wasn't?
WonderCon in Anaheim. It's the same time. It was the same day that I bought an animated Archie cell that is Jughead and Hot Dog, and OG Ninja Turtles cartoon storyboards that I also have framed that aren't currently hung.
This turned into a weird humble brag. And I'm not trying.
But like I didn't include the biggest brag. This, you can't really see it. I'll move the camera a bit. That's my autograph picture of Taylor Swift. It's one of like two autographs I have. The other one is I made 3 wrestlers I admire sign my Black Series Jar Jar Binks action figure.
I think the only autograph stuff I still have, because I gave so much away or sold it, are comic books that were personally signed by friends, essentially. Mm-hmm. So it's like I have stuff by Brian Buccellato and Joshua Williamson. So it's like I've known them for years. Joshua Fialkov, again feels like a humble brag too. But like people that I worked with as a journalist over years, and we kind of became buddies. That kind of happens in this industry for
Oh,
some reason.
I take it back. I do have another signed thing. I also have a signed comic book. It is the issue of Batwoman written by my friend and former Batwoman writer and Gotham Knights co-creator Natalie Abrams from the Lego episode of Big Kid. I made her autograph a comic book for me, and it was delightful.
Yeah.
And I went and bought a copy just because, you got to support your friends.
When I said that the weird part of the industry is sometimes you become buddies with someone that you're interviewing, that's a very rare occasion in which you have a good rapport with someone and you just casually end up talking to them. And
I will also note
that is
not how I met my friend Natalie, who used to be a TV reporter at Entertainment Weekly. And so we knew each other from the industry, and I'm good buddies with her wife, who is, it was actually something I wanted to bring up because you mentioned the outlet you were doing list stuff for that wasn't to your voice. I had a similar experience when I got laid off from Zap to It back in 2017. I started freelancing for a bunch of places simultaneously, including The Hollywood Reporter. The West Coast TV editor Leslie Goldberg, who is one of my dearest friends at the time, was like someone I looked up to as someone in the industry and an acquaintance, but I would not say that we were super close friends, which is why I was so surprised that she was the first person to reach out after I got laid off and was like, because Matt, you've heard this story a billion times. I was on vacation in Europe. For the first time ever, I took a vacation and I lost my job while I was there. And she sent me a DM or a text message. It was like, hey, as soon as you're back, let's get you set up to freelance THR. And I was so incredibly thankful. It saved my life. But it also showed me that, like, oh, I am not meant for industry trade writing because it's so business forward. And I was like, that's not my voice.
It's B2B
That's
writing.
not where I'm strong. But it was excellent experience. That unlocked a different part of writing in my brain. Obviously, Leslie is an incredible editor, so she was giving me notes and pep talks throughout. It was love, and this was like, spoilers, at roughly one of the worst times in the history of my life. I got laid off. I had no income in Los Angeles, and then I got T-boned in an intersection.
Yeah.
Lost my car, and the police decided to claim it to make it my fault. So I also didn't get a bunch of money out. It's a whole thing. It is a whole thing we will talk about some other day.
I'm going to point out my weirdest moment in journalism so far.
Okay.
The day I got laid off
from
the mass layoffs at GameSpot, Hollywood Reporter and Variety wrote about the story, and I was the first person mentioned in every piece. And I was like, there are people at Giant Bomb that are real personalities that are huge and much more important than me. Why am I getting written about first? That was the weirdest thing to me.
Because you're Matt Elfring.
But I'm not as important as the other people at Giant Bomb that were laid off. I'm not a personality really on these sites.
I think you're as important.
No.
Okay. Well, agree to disagree then.
Yeah.
Anyway, this has been fun.
We
made a podcast.
We did, and it was supposed to be
Haynerland.substack.com. Haynerland.substack.com.
I just realized that this banner at the bottom, entering the no yell zone, which was like, ha ha ha. It's
no,
funny.
it says entering the yell zone.
The yell zone. But I just realized that that's a Fox News thing they do, entering the no spin zone. And I didn't even connect those two. I just thought now entering the no yell zone was funny.
I think you should call it entering the spin zone.
No.
Yeah, we're going to spin things. Like a tilt-a-whirler, the teacups. Matt, I've reached the age where I can't ride the teacups or carousels anymore because I get dizzy and sick.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome to that world.
It's weird. Haynerland.substack.com. Thanks, Matt.
Patreon.com/I'm Matt Elfring. I'm Matt Elfring on YouTube. I'm Matt Elfring everywhere. That's just
Matt Chris Hayner everywhere.
Yeah, that's the branding.
RoboCop.
RoboCop. Bye.